Stanley. Stanley, you're back! The Bebop Crow is able to rescue you. That's amazing. Well, I mean, I didn't really need to go out and find you. I mean, Cavalagram was able to find out where you were pretty quickly. But you were really heavily guarded, so, you know, we had to bide our time. Well, hey, I mean, there's a body there that looked exactly like you. What else was I supposed to think? Look, I'm sorry. I didn't think to be suspicious or anything, but hey, lesson learned, right? And anyway, the funeral was a beautiful event. You know, lots of people showed up. Well, like Mind Grinder and Steel and Love. Yeah, different Love. Who else? She did, yeah. Everyone said nice things. Well, she said that you were a really good person. Well, you know, she said you were a good person inside. Calm down. Why are you so invested in what Love had to say anyway? Aren't you happy to see me? I mean, I'm happy to see you. Well, that's hurtful. Anyway, look here, the conglomeration of crows have set us up a bunker here for us. After both you and Timmy were kidnapped, they wanted us to have a really safe place. Well, I don't blame you. Let's get this next broadcast started. Live from the Octavian server, it's the award-winning DC News. With Disbanded Crow, Stanley, Weather, and no one on sports. Brought to you by the Storm Masters. We bring them to you now, live. Good afternoon, I'm Disbanded Crow, coming to you once again from the Octavian server. Boy, do we have an action-packed week of news for you, so let's just jump into it. I am happy to report that Bebop Crow has come through and has brought Stanley back to us. Stanley, I know it might be difficult for you, so please just feel free to say no if you can't, but could you please tell us a little bit about what happened over there? Well, that's truly horrible. I'm sorry, that must have been rough. And I shudder when I think about what they must be doing with a virtual copy of you. But, just scientists and Bebop Crows, no appreciation for me? I mean, if I hadn't gotten the information and reported on it, Scientist Crow and the others wouldn't even know that you needed rescuing. Well, alright, let's move on. We had an extremely rare sighting this week as the one and only original Crow was visiting the DC News studio. During this visit, the high-ranking member of the Herbalist, a duck with a monocle, came to him and presented him with some sort of self-destructive device. Sir Duck explained that, in theory, the device is able to cause any robot to self-destruct, provided that it has the associated robot's IP address. This is stored in the most secure location that we have, our new bunker. Speaking of our new bunker, that is actually where I am broadcasting to you now. It is completely secure. It is impenetrable to explosions, breaches of other natures, and even signals are unable to reach us down here. Wait, signals? Bill, how are we able to broadcast if signals can't come in or out? Well, anyway, not only is this bunker impenetrable, it's also guarded by a new robot provided to us by the conglomeration of crows. Its name is Taylor, and although it is less sophisticated than Stanley, it is a perfect guard. We also have Alex, a mercenary from another dimension. The conglomeration of crows found and adopted him as a baby, and raised him into the perfect soldier that he is today. We are, in theory, in the safest place on the server. After Stanley's rescue, the Bee-Bots were spotted constructing another hive in Blood Sorcerer territory. This is rather concerning, as they are appearing to spread. However, this development is especially interesting because a message is actually present at the construction site, reading as follows. Greetings, members of the Blood Sorcerers. Your false archmage, Mirama, has been deposed. You are hereby free from the oppressive tyranny of the Resistance, and finally under the protection of me, your true archmage, Herpabot. Do not obstruct the Bee-Bots. They are here for your protection. Do not interfere with the bee drones or hive. Listen to advice given by the Blue Flames. Together we will prosper. Together we will rule the sorcerer's game. Praise me, your one true archmage, and I will protect you. This is rather interesting. The Herpabot seems to be presenting itself as a force of good, of protection. Could it really believe that itself? Perhaps related to this, the Fire Nation has now absorbed the Blood Sorcerers. In a statement from the Fire Nation Archmage, Different Love explained that she will build up the Blood Sorcerers until a new Archmage is appointed. So, I suppose this new hive is now her problem to deal with. I am sure she will, Stanley. Shortly after this hive was spotted, a raid suddenly broke out against the Herbalists. No one is quite sure as to what or who started this raid, but every Archmage came together to put an end to it. Even the Nomad, Adam X16, was in attendance to provide assistance. This is rather suspicious. First the Night Sorcerers come under attack, then the same group goes after the Herbalists. Could it be related to the Herbabot situation? Yes, thank you for your input, Stanley. Some sort of battle also took place at the cave in which Stanley was kept. Looking at the aftermath, the cave was flooded and a giant sea monster was present. There are also some new herbalist robots, this time of the ant variety. Are these ones also prone to rebellion? Only time will tell. In other news, a new player has joined the Sorcerer's game. His name is Rusty Fox, and he has joined the Herbalists. Unfortunately, his first act as a sorcerer was to steal some valuables from the Store Master's vault. Kivagram made sure to put a stop to this act, but this has caused Rusty Fox to have a bounty on his head in the Store Master's territory. As the Store Masters are sponsoring this show, I have an obligation to ask that if any of you viewers happen to see this Rusty Fox character, to please contact Mr. Steelio Kills. Multiple prisoners were able to escape from the Storm Master's vaults this week as well. As you can see from this image, their bars were destroyed and 2 guards were killed in this event. We suspect that they were actually rescued rather than managing to escape themselves. But as for who might have done this and why, that has yet to be seen. If anyone has any information whatsoever regarding this event, please contact the DC News Studio. For my final piece of news, I have been hearing reports of some sort of ramshackle news studio that seems to be spreading false information and negative propaganda. Rest assured that DC News is the perfect source of news on the Octavian server, and we will be sending someone to investigate this competitor. I have also heard that our other kidnapped employee, Timmy, is being held here, which we still have yet to confirm. I mean, taking our technology and poorly copying it just to further the plot? I mean, who would even do that? Before we move to weather, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Hello again. What? That voice. It's you? Sure is. It took me a little bit to show up here on the Octavian server, but I'm happy to see that you haven't improved your situation much. Why? Why are you doing this to me? The Storm Masters. They've made a beautiful new town by the name of Orelon. It's official and everything, with a beautiful road connecting it to the rest of the sorcerers. How is that even sponsor material? Well, maybe if you walk the entirety of that road, you'll find your family at the end of it. Wait, really? Wait, no, please. I need more information. To finish off this broadcast, we have another message from Scientist Crow. Hello! It is I, once again, Scientist Crow. I am very happy to be here visiting the Octavian server. Unfortunately, I have completely crashed my rocket ship on the way to get here. I am not a rocket crow. I cannot fly these things very well. I am aware that the duck with an eyepiece has provided us with a very valuable tool as an absolute last resort. Even so, I have been working on an even more last resort. This here is a device which will assist us should the absolute worst pass. Its exact function will be kept a secret for now, but rest assured that I will be working on it night and day. Thank you very much, Scientist Crow. I remain hopeful that with so many backup plans, we will make it through these times just fine. Well, I'm afraid that concludes this week's broadcast. We look forward to seeing you next week with even more news from the Octavian server. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment because it always is helpful hearing your feedback. Goodbye.